was Franklin Roosevelt who said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Today on the County Seat, we're going to invite you on a special journey, quite different from our usual show, to take the time to introduce you to a young lady who exemplifies that quote. Her name is Sarah. She has special needs and a special dream. She is a student at a charter school designed specifically for autistic children. This is the story of her dream coming true and finding a brave new path to growing up. It's a story that's told in a very special way through the eyes of our producer, John Meyer. We will follow her along a path that helped her cross the bridge out of her comfort zone to a place towards self-determination.
I want to build tiny houses. I'm a lot stronger than they know. I'm actually pretty good in a fight. I can take care of myself. I'm very cautious sometimes. I take friend. I really am cautious, Mom.
Pardon her autistic way of saying it, but she said, "I need to have a place to go when you're dead."
Well, most kids with disabilities don't leave. They usually live with their parents for the rest of their lives because they don't know how to live independently. And having a tiny house in the backyard of their parents might actually help.
I remember the day that Sarah came home. She had watched a cable show about tiny homes, and I had never even heard of tiny homes. She came home all excited because she thought that it would be fun to have her own house, but that it wasn't too big.
I want to live by them, yes. Just not having them nagging me anymore. I really don't want my parents bugging me anymore. Maybe I should get the weed whacker.
What we're doing is trying to prepare the ground so that when the leveler comes, it'll be ready for him to put down the fabric and put down the gravel.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in the house for a little while and then go back and forth. And yeah.
That's one of the struggles with kids with autism is they don't ever really figure out how to live on their own. And it's hard for a lot of families to find a place for them to be on their own. And so we're hoping that this will provide her the balance between being independent and being reliant completely on the family.
Lisa and Sarah approached me about the potential of building a home for Sarah and the fact that she has autism. It really gave me pause to think maybe there's something more that we can do with tiny homes.
Oh yeah, he is great. He's good with customers. Oh my gosh, he's been really nice with us. He's been adding a lot of new stuff.
This is the entry. It's going to have kind of a cool feature. As you come over here, you can see the porch for the entry, and then we've got this big expanse that really makes it seem much larger than it really is. A tiny home offers a living arrangement that is manageable because of its size for people that may not be able to manage something larger effectively. So it'll have a nice finished look. We've got some cool flooring options so I think she's really going to enjoy it. I think it's going to really be fun for her and really take on Sarah's personality versus Stu's personality.
Sarah has done amazing over this last year since she's become invested in her tiny home and taking those steps towards independence.
I think you would find many of the same qualities in Sarah that you would with any other young teenage girl. She is interested in certain things that are important to her, and she'll let you know about it.
I have like hundreds of stuffed animals, baby dolls, Barbies. I have two huge ones, a unicorn and a fish.
When you get to know the real Sarah, then you're seeing this bubbly, vivacious, I want these things. I'm not sure how to get there, but I want to be independent, but I don't want to be too far away.
She wants autonomy. She wants to have her own space. Those are things that are important to Sarah. She's fun, she's bubbly, she's real inquisitive.
I just want to have my own. and be my own person.
She talks about wanting to be on her own, but I still hear about things like being afraid of lightning, being afraid of thunder.
Yes, I'll be running into the house, running into my mom and dad's bed, and sleeping with them. I'm scared of thunder and lightning. Oh my gosh.
We've thought about having her actually have her house on a different property, but that was too scary. It's just too far away, and she needs to feel like she's safe, that she still has home to come to. Even though she has her own space, she can do her own things, but that she always has a safe spot to come home to.
Planning your next conference or corporate event? The Davis Conference Center offers 70,000 square feet of flexible meeting and exhibit space, plus high-tech audio-visual services that will make your event a success. Whether you're planning a training, meeting, company retreat, wedding, or large convention, let the staff at the Davis Conference Center help you arrange your next event. Located east of I-15 in Layton, call 801-416-8888 or visit davisconferencecenter.com today.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
The Utah Farm Bureau began as a collection of farmers supporting each other to raise the food we enjoy. Today, Farm Bureau membership encompasses everyone, whether ranchers, growers, or just everyday folks like you and me. Members enjoy discounts on items like vehicles and ATVs, or insurance that's very affordable. You don't have to be a farmer to join, and dues are small, but together we make a big difference in keeping our food supply local and abundant. Join Utah Farm Bureau.
Welcome back to the county seat. We now continue our story of Sarah, the girl with functional autism, and her dream for a house of her own.
I
We're
hope
going to do a little painting,
Okay,
do some fun stuff.
okay,
We'll go look first,
okay,
make sure we get the seal of approval
okay.
from this young lady.
Yep, we've
Okay.
Let's
Is that good?
those colors. That's what I'm anxious about.
Let's go see some colors so Mom's okay. I think you'll be all right, but we got to make sure Mom's all right.
Sarah first expressed that she wanted the outside of her house to be pink, and we were, I think, appropriately concerned that that would cause problems in the neighborhood.
Pink. All pink. Oh my gosh. I'm a fan of pink.
We've encouraged her to think about having all of her pink on the inside as opposed to the outside.
I really do want to paint the house pink. I really do.
What does your mom think about painting the house pink?
She thinks it's kind of insane, I think.
Come on in. And what do you think?
That's awesome.
Isn't that fun? You said you wanted a lot of pink, right?
This is a lot.
Oh my gosh, so much pink. So much pink. Every different kind of pink you could ever imagine.
Well, we're excited to get it to you. We just have a little bit more to go, and then it's ready to get down to your house. How'd you like to do a little project with me?
Cool.
You want to paint your door?
Yes.
Let's paint your front door. How's that sound? And then keep your brush. Let's turn your brush. There you go. Okay, get a little more paint. Nice. Do the same. Very good. See how that blends it in? Doesn't that look pretty? Excellent job. Look how pretty that is. And this isn't anything crazy, but it gives it a neat, kind of fun look. Okay, you ready for the really fun, funky color? Orange? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, okay. I'm gonna let you do that. You knock this one out and have fun. Oh, perfect. Yep, that seals it. Excellent.
Sarah has so enjoyed this process. I'm watching her, and she's just excited. She's loving the fact that Stu gave her the opportunity to be a part of putting together the house.
I love the drizzle idea.
Isn't that neat? That looks outstanding. What do you think?
Awesome. My hands see it all too.
Well, we'll get you cleaned up, so I'll get a rag here.
I'm anxious to see it hanging and see how it works with the interior of the house, but again, I see her excited, and I see her having bought into the project and being a real part of building the house, and that feels good.
You having fun?
Yeah.
Come here, give me a hug. Good job. Okay, let's get you cleaned up and we'll get going. How's that? That's all right, it'll come off.
It was just fun painting. It was my first time actually painting something like that.
Matt, you excited?
Yeah.
Well, I have something for you. You know what those are?
My keys.
Those are your keys to your new home. Are you kind of anxious? Do you want to go in and see it?
Yes.
Let's do it, okay? Ready? Come on
Yeah.
in. I'm gonna follow you, okay?
Whoa. This is
This is pink. This is very pink.
What do you think?
This is awesome.
That's your blue light, your night light, and your controls are right over there. And then the fan is on in it. There you go. And then we can play music with it, like you saw on Facebook. Your door, your trap door, so that you can walk across.
Go ahead, grab it, see how it works.
So I kind of made your mom swear to secrecy, so I got a couple things though that I've got for you, okay? So those little bins right here, those are gonna go with you, okay? That carpet downstairs, that cool rug, that's gonna go with you. And that chest that's on it, that's gonna go with you too.
Oh, Mom!
And I have, guess what else?
What?
I have a full-length pink mirror. That's gonna go with you too. That work?
Yeah.
Good?
It's all about the pink, huh?
As the owner of the company and my staff, it's fun for us and it really is uplifting for us to see someone so excited to get their home and for us to know what she's going to be able to use this for in terms of having autonomy in her own space. So we couldn't be more pleased.
I am so excited to. I really want to sleep in it tonight. I want to take a shower in it. I want to play the music and.
$149 million years in the making, dinosaurs once roamed this land. Now they're found at the Dinosaur National Monument. Let's take you beyond the bones. We call it Dinosaur Land. You'll find it offers adventures and sights not seen anywhere else in the world. Come to Dinosaur Land, Vernal, Utah. You'll want to stay forever. The dinosaurs did.
Look south to adventure. Look south to beauty. Look south to San Juan County. Out here, the road goes on forever, and what you'll find will change how you see the world. Climb on your OHV and discover forgotten landscapes and vistas that challenge the imagination. From Blanding and Monticello to the cliff faces of Monument Valley, we're open and ready for you to explore. San Juan County, Utah's Canyon Country. Too often we find ourselves in shoes like these, or these. Wouldn't it be nice to change into something more like this, or this? How about these? Put on whatever shoes you prefer and come to Beaver County. We have exactly the adventure you need to put under them. So the next time you want to change out of these, come to Beaver County where you can jump into a pair of these. Beaver County, Utah. Lace up for adventure.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are talking about special needs kids and how they become special needs adults, and how we try and get them from point A to point B. You've seen Sarah's story about her small house and how it worked to help her to become independent. So now we're going to shift to the school side of that equation and talk to some of the people who've been involved in her education as part of her transition to adulthood. Jamie Christensen, who is the Director of Academics for the Spectrum Academy, where Sarah went to school. And you just told me she just graduated?
She did. She just graduated last night.
Oh, very good. And we have Lavinia Grippentrog, who is the Transition Specialist for the Utah State Board of Education. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
There's a very broad spectrum of people who have challenges of different types and different disability challenges. How do you go through the process of screening how you help them, say at your academy or through the State Board of Education?
Well, that's a great question. But, the way that transition services and transition planning happens in Utah for students in schools is it's very much individualized. So students that are receiving special education services will have annually a transition plan, and that happens at the school and local level, and that is included in that planning are educators and the student, the families, outside agencies, and really determine what that student's interests, preferences, needs are, and develop those services for that student on an individual basis.
So the educational goal for most kids is, to prepare them for life or for further education or give them the basic skills to get vocational training. How does that equation change when you're looking at somebody with special needs?
Well, it doesn't change, is the thing. It just gets a little bit more complicated in trying to find and individualize what supports they will need, what things they're interested in, those kind of things that will allow them to really prosper in whatever it is that they want to do and be successful.
So I look at the landscape of this, you go back 100 years ago and you had special needs kids and they would most likely be institutionalized. And then somewhere in the 40s or 50s they started moving into doing training at school and trying to help them socially integrate more in the community and kind of remove this stigma from them. And we've come a long way with that. And now in the era of charter schools, it seems like we have specialized schools like Spectrum Academy that have developed to further enhance that. Would you say have we come a long way in that?
Oh, we've definitely come a long way. We have a ways to go, but we have come a long way. And our students, there's more being expected of them, therefore they're rising to those expectations, and we can really make a difference in their level of independence and ability to live independently as they get older.
About how much of that spectrum can you help? I know that's a tough question, but
I think we can help all students. I think we really need to focus on a student's strengths and capitalize on those and really develop those strengths, and then identify the supports that student needs to be successful in employment or post-secondary education or whatever their post-high school goals may be. And it's nice that now there is more choice for families and for students to be able to reach those goals.
So let's take Sarah. She would be functionally autistic, I guess. And very charming, very engaging young lady. Looks like she can almost take care of herself. Almost. Is that a typical story or is that an exceptional story as far as what you see at Spectrum Academy?
Oh, it varies so much. I hate to say one way or the other. I think it can be a typical story for most students, provided they get the right early intervention and that those expectations are there from the beginning. As early as kindergarten, we start working on different things that will help them be more prepared to make that transition. It comes sooner than most people think. And so I think so many are, all of them at least, are capable of employment. Whether or not they will live on their own, they can still engage in a meaningful life with employment and contribute to society.
I really think we've come a long way as a state and also locally in collaborating amongst different agencies. So for example, the State Board of Education collaborates with Vocational Rehabilitation, Department of Workforce Services, and also the local level does that as well to really start working earlier to provide those services for students, blend and braid funding so that there's an overlap, so that when students do leave the school system there isn't a gap in services. So that has been a real strong focus of ours, and has been successful to see that students are leaving school with supports in place, with a plan, and also with employment in place.
So are employers still a little bit afraid of making these kinds of hires?
There are. It's getting less, we're seeing, as we partner with these organizations that help us as well, Voc Rehab and Workforce Services, to get our individuals employed. It's becoming a little bit more of an accepted thing. There's a lot of work to do still there, but there's some very great companies, large and small, that have opened their doors to employing these individuals as they are part of their community.
So when the state's working at this transition process, I would intimate from that you transition them into the program and transition them out of the program when their work is done. Is that correct?
Correct. We call that sort of transition to transition. Exactly. We don't really want that last day of a student's education to look vastly different than the following day when they are no longer receiving the services. So we want that to be kind of a seamless transition into what their life will be like afterwards. So, and one of the ways we accomplish that is we're involved with a School to Work project, and that's a collaboration between Division of Services for People with Disabilities and some other agencies that are training teams at the local level, including in Spectrum Academy is one of our schools. We have 8 different school districts that we're doing this with, and it really is all about working with the student and having them be employed before they leave school. Because we know that the research out there says that if students are employed while they're in school, they're much more likely to be employed after. So that is a big concern and focus.
It sounds like we've made a lot of headway in this area. And we have made a lot of headway through this segment. Our conversation time is done. There are still other areas of this entire dilemma to look at. We will continue that when we come back with the county seat.
In a place that is beyond words, there is nothing to be said, except take your time in Bryce Canyon country.
Welcome to the county seat. I'm Chadwick. And we will see you next week on the county seat. Welcome back to the county seat. According to a study published by the Kem Gardner Institute, more than 1 in 60 of our 15-year-olds are affected with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. This is significantly greater than the national average of almost 1 in 90. Many of these children can learn to function in society if they get the proper training and education early on. Most of them can at least learn to function as part of the community, if not be independent. Charter schools like the Spectrum Academy provide a big part of that lift, but they won't be able to carry it all, and most Utah families won't be able to carry the balance. So the health and safety of these individuals as they age will fall upon us as a community. What that cost will be depends upon how we look at it and how willing we are as a society to be proactive. Fortunately for parents, there are nonprofit groups like the Parent Center of Utah. This organization provides mentoring, training, and consulting services to help families set up financial resources for autistic children later in life while providing for their kids today. In addition, the state has a division within the Department of Human Services that is specifically targeted to help. It's called Services for People with Disabilities, or DSPD. It helps families determine eligibility for government programs, coordinate services from getting handicap parking stickers to arranging in-home caregivers, helps obtain Medicare waivers, and so on. These two organizations, along with a committed family, really help a child with disabilities navigate the road of life. Some kids need a little, some a lot. But with innovative new ways to treat, educate, and serve, we can keep a valuable part of our society at home, providing a more rewarding life for them, and I might add, us. Thanks for watching today. Please share this show with your friends. Choose to follow us for interesting tips on local government and issues during the week, and we'll see you next week on the County Seat.